Good day. I want to wish everybody that is joining our subject ICCC 111 this year. I want to say very, very welcome to all of you. I wish all of you great success with the course. I wish all of you that you're going to meet all your expectations this year, that you are going to fulfill your dreams for this year, and then at the end of the day, that you and I will celebrate that at the end of the year. Now, I don't intend showing my face to you so every now and then, but at least you know what I look like and what this awful voice that you're going to listen to during the course of this year is actually how the face behind the voice is looking like. My name is Mrs. Swift. I have two groups, ICCC 111, A surprisingly for Afrikaans and E surprisingly for English. Now guys, this picture actually says it all. You are going to encounter a lot of problems this year. And hopefully, well, your personal problems is going to be your personal life, but your academic problems is part of my problem as well. So there you're going to encounter a lot of academic problems. We will have to find a solution for your problem. Now, many times I can assist in finding that solution. Many times you have to find that solution by yourself. And maybe it is a team effort to get to a solution. But then you will achieve success at the end of the year in order to meet whatever your goals are for this year. Now, basically, if you have registered for ICCC 111, that means that you either plan to become a chartered accountant or you plan to become a forensic accountant. Now, guys, again, this ICCC 111 is the flagship of all the accounting courses at varsity. What do I mean by saying that? It is the flagship because it is the most difficult of all the accounting courses that we present at the university. We have to get you ready to write a national exam, which is internationally acknowledged at the end of a 4-year period. We don't have the luxury to ease you into something that you feel comfortable with. We don't have the luxury to lead you through green pastures in order to achieve your ultimate goals. It is a very hard world out there, and it is a very tough and a huge order in order to get you ready to write those exams after 4 years of study. So, you are going to encounter a lot of problems. We are going to accelerate you from 0 to 5,000 in 2 seconds like a Lamborghini can wish to accelerate. And you can only be successful if you run with us all the time and don't fall behind. You have to encounter, and you're going to get a lot of problems to solve. And how you're going to solve that, you have to be able to think about problem solving. And you can only think logically if you know your work. And once you have actually thought about this whole problem, you will come to a solution. You will be able to solve that problem. But here in the middle, if there's no knowledge, if you haven't come to the party, if you haven't done your homework, you will not have and will never be able to solve a problem because there's a serious lack of knowledge in order to do so. Good. Your textbook that you're going to use this year is Accounting and Introduction. This is the Afrikaans version. This is the one that you're going to use. It is the 13th edition. Guys, please, any 12, 11, 10th previous editions is not going to work. There is important work in the 13th edition which is different from previous editions. So you have to have the 13th edition of this textbook. Where can you find it? All the bookshops Surrounding the Varsity has this book in stock. You can find it at Van Skyks, you can find it at Protea, and then there's another bookshop, Way Forward, where you can also find this textbook. Now, Van Skyks have a delivery service. Now, you can phone them, just look up their telephone number. They are on the bolt in Podge. Look their telephone number or send them a mail or something like that. They have a delivery service. So should you then want them to deliver the textbook to you, I'm sure they won't mind. So you can just contact them to get full particulars surrounding delivery services. Guys, just go back to that one. You're going to use this textbook fairly quickly. We have about 2 days, 3 days that we are going to do conceptual framework, which is also in this textbook, but you will have enough information to carry on without the textbook for those 2-3 days. But you will have to have this textbook basically within a week. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind in your work. So guys, get this textbook ASAP, as quickly as possible, because otherwise you're not going to be able to fulfill all the tasks you have to. Calculator. Now, for this year, you are not going to use a financial calculator, but for sure from your second year, you're going to use it all the time. So if you have a simple 1 and 1 equals 2 calculator, that will suffice for this year. That's going to be fine. But if you have to buy a calculator, don't waste your money and buy something and later on you have to buy something else again. So if you want to invest in a calculator, the Sharp EL738 is a decent financial calculator. You don't have to. Casio also has a good financial calculator. HP has an excellent financial calculator. So whatever we're going to do, buy then a financial calculator because you're going to use that in your future studies. But again, if you have a 1 and 1 equals 2 calculator, that will be 100% for the current year. Your first year, you can get by with that. What are we going to do in our semester program? Now, guys, you will see, and I'm going to show you a little bit later on where in IFundi you can find it. You have to come prepared to any class. Now, we're going to have classes via Zoom this year, but I'm going to give you a daily program that you have to follow, a daily one. Not once a week, 1 day a week, whatever. You're going to have every day, from Monday to Friday, a little bit of accounting work to do. That's the only way that we can be successful. You have to do your homework. You're going to get homework every day to do. You have to do your homework if you want to be successful. You will see that I will communicate to you early in the morning what is your homework for the day. It's also on your work program, but I do communicate it again so that you don't even have to bother to go and have a look to know yourself what's the homework. So I will tell you in the morning what is your homework. I expect from you to do that homework question through the day or the homework preparation work through the day. At the end of the day, if you had to do a question, I will give you late in the afternoon or even only early the evening. I will give you the solution for that homework question so that you once more can work through the question to see where you have done wrong. What was the mistakes that you've made? That you can figure out why you made the mistake and why it was wrong and why the answer is the way it is, and you understand what that answer is. Guys, because you have to sort out your problems as we go along. I feel very sorry for you in the sense that you are starting very late this year. Now, we have cut some of the content of the scores, but we're still going to do about 95% of the work that we would have done in any event. It means that we are going to run very quickly. We always run quickly, but this year we are running top speed all the time because the year is so short. If you're going to fall behind, you're not going to have time to catch up. Go and have a look at all your calendar work programs. I've actually done the whole thing up to the exam. And you will see that there is no space for falling behind because then you're not going to make that. So guys, you have to follow the daily program. Otherwise, you are going to be left behind. Test dates. Now you're going to write 3 class tests this year. That's big tests. They're going to count 50 marks, 50 marks each. The first one being the 14th of April, the 5th of May, and the 26th of May. This one on the 14th of April might still change now the 15th or the 16th of April. The reason for that being is that the varsity is going to assign a date for me for the first test. Not for the last two tests, those dates are fixed. But for the first one is in the so-called test week, that there are no classes at varsity. You won't have any other homework assignments during that week and a half that you're going to write the formal test week, or during the formal test week. So they can maybe move the 14th of April to the 15th, 16th or 17th of April. That timetable is not available as yet. All your tests are going to be online. So I'm going to post your test on IFundi. I'll show you a little bit later where you're going to find it. And then you're going to write the test on a piece of paper after you've downloaded the test from IFundi. Then you have to scan your paper, and then you have to upload your scanned paper on IFundi. There's an upload function. We will practice this before the 14th of April so that you know what to do. And you have to email your answer to me simultaneously. Now you get 20 minutes in a paper in order to do so. So all your tests for the first semester is going to be online tests. Now guys, you're going to feel like this many times this year and the years thereafter. How am I going to overcome this huge problem? I'm so tired. I can't go any further. I just feel like sleeping and just fall down and say, oh no, I'm just throwing in the towel. Now guys, that is not the way to success. The way to success is I fall down 100 times. I get up 101 times, and that is the road to success. So what am I going to do? I'm going to drink my coffee, I'm going to pick myself up, and I'm just going to work harder. I'm going to sweat harder. I'm going to tell myself, this thing is not going to win me. I am going to win that. And the only way you're going to do that is by working extremely hard. Now, you will see at the start of each and every study unit, there is study material, and under the study material, there's a reference to a study guide. Now, that study guide, guys, is just a roadmap. It is just a starting point to learn what the study unit is all about. It is for sure, and listen to the word, it is a starting point. It's not a point to stop. We only start off there. Under each and every study unit, you're going to find PowerPoint slides, what this study unit is all about. Each and every PowerPoint slide, let's say on debtors for instance, will start with learning outcomes. So on the slide, before I start talking about that study unit, you will have the learning outcomes of that particular study unit. And that is what you want and have to achieve in order to know, and that basically gives you a roadmap or a tick list of what you should know once you have completed the study unit. So this is very important that you actually go and have a look at the study guide and then the learning outcomes as set out in the PowerPoint slides. You have to follow the daily program religiously. Guys, like I said, I cannot stress that enough. Go and have a look. I'm going to give you a March calendar, April, May, and then June you're going to write exam. You will see that I've allocated questions on a daily basis. So if you're going to miss that day, there's no time to catch up. Okay, let's have a look. Where do we find IFundi and what IFundi looks like? You go to the landing page of the NWU site. It looks like this. You go to current students. You will have a drop-down list there under current students. You will go to IFundi. You click on IFundi and it's going to open up this page. You see there's a login there right in the right-hand corner. You press on the login screen. Your username will be your student number, and then you have chosen a password that you're going to insert there, and then you're going to push login. Once you have logged in, you can go to sites. Now, all the subjects that you have registered for will then be listed under the year 2021. All of them will have an empty star, not a colored in star, but when you're going to click on that, then it will color in the star like that. Once you have done that, the name of the course will appear here in this section of the screen, right on top of your IFundi screen. Somewhere there on the line, you will find ICCC 111 PC year 2021, and if you're going to click on that, that is going to open up our site. Now let me just do the student view. Right, so it's going to look like this. You will see on the left-hand side here, I have admin A and admin E, E for English. So you will click on admin E. Once you open up that site or that page on the site, you will see all my particulars in the first block here. My name, Sonja Swart, my telephone number, my office number. Guys, I will be available in my office during the semester, although it's online classes, not contact classes. I will give you Tuesdays and Thursdays probably, but I will tell you beforehand that I will be available for consultation. So if somebody would like to come to the campus and would like to see me in my office, you can make an appointment and you can come and see me. Great, then my email address, if you want to drop me a mail, and then my consultation hours, well, now during the online classes, it is during the course of the week, during business hours, 8 to 5, and then on a Friday, only to 1 o'clock. Friday, only to 1 o'clock, but otherwise you can drop me an email or a WhatsApp message. We are going to have a WhatsApp group. I will send you the link on the WhatsApp group, and you will have to join the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on a lot of information. Okay. Lecture times, that is not really applicable now. But I'm going to try to arrange Zoom sessions that will fall as far as possible within the time span that you would have had classes. It's not going to be possible always because I want to break down the groups into smaller groups so that it is a little bit more personal and you guys have the opportunity to learn each other, because it's very bad you don't know each other and you are in the same class, and I think that's extremely bad. You will have your model mark, you will have your participation mark, you will have all your work programs. Now I'm going to set out the calendar months programs here as well. I'm going to attach it here, so you will find all the work that we're going to do up to the June exam. If you're going to be absent, so if you are sick when you are writing a test, and that's the only thing that I'm going to accept, when you are going to be sick when you're writing a test, you have to provide me with a doctor's note, obviously, and you have to send me an email to tell me that you will not be able to write the test. Good. There are no full away tests. There are no other tests. There are 3 tests, and that's it. You're not going to receive an additional test if you're off sick. It means instead of 3 class tests making up 85% of your participation mark, only 2 class tests is then going to make up your participation mark. Textbooks, I've already spoken about the textbook. Warning against plagiarism. Guys, please, please, please. This is extremely, extremely, extremely important. We have found last year a lot of students cheating or working together in tests in the online environment. We caught them out. And they were actually suspended from the university permanently, as well as from other academic institutions permanently. Listen to the words. Woo! If your mind has wandered off, listen now. Woo! Are you awake? I say permanently. They are not allowed to study at any academic institution in the country again. Don't fall in that trap. Do your own work. If you want to fail, at least fail honestly. but don't work together. I don't mind if you sit and work together when you're working out homework assignments and if you talk with other people about the homework assignment, because then I think it is actually very good. Then the one can say something and the other one can say something else and you can talk about the work. But when you do a test or exam, you do everything on your own. For the guys who didn't have accounting at school, guys, there's going to be particulars of the 2021 bridging course in this section, which you have to follow. I'm also going to put an announcement for that course on IFundi. And then any other information, like who's your facilitators, etc., that will actually appear in that block there. Good, then we see module inhoud, that's for the Afrikaans people, and the second one is module content. So you will go to the module content, that's for the English guys, and you will see all the study units that's opened up for you. Now the first one is just a general one. You will see that you have your study guide there. You can click on it. It's going to open up the basics of the study. In this study guide, it's not the full study guide. It is what does certain terminology means, etc., etc. Here is your study material, chapter 1 of your textbook. What study outcome, study time? How long should you spend on accounting? We start 10 hours a week. I actually increased that significantly coming to the end. Study outcomes. Again, you can there click and open up the study guide for your outcomes. Preparation for the contact session. What is going to happen before the contact session? You have to look at chapter 1 of the textbook. During the contact session, it's everything, all the questions, examples that I'm going to do. And after the contact session is going to be your homework questions. So let's look at this one. This is the first real study unit that we're going to do. There's your study material, accounting and introduction. That's your textbook, chapter 2. Study time 10 hours a week. You can go to the study guide for your learning outcomes, but also to the PowerPoint slides. And here's the PowerPoint slides on the conceptual framework. There it is. Now you will see that some of the guys, I cannot name all the slides English and Afrikaans. Some of them have English names, some of them Afrikaans names, but whenever there's Afrikaans name, I translate the Afrikaans name into English so that you see what that slides are all about. It's about the conceptual framework, and on that thing you will see the learning outcomes as well. So this is what we're going to do during the contact session, typically in a contact class environment, and this is the class examples that I would have done with you in a contact session. Now I'm going to do all this still with you, but obviously everything will be offline. In this section after the contact session, that would be your homework questions. And you will have the question and you will have the answer. You will have the question and you will have the answer. The answer will only be posted a little while after we have done the question. Great. Under this one, toetsen tests. This is all old class tests and exams with their memos. So should you wish to work out old papers, please don't ask me. You have everything on IFundi that I am prepared to give to you. Calendar, well, this is just for your own if you want to use the calendar to make some notes for yourself. Announcements, guys, this is actually where I'm going to, no, IFundi. Announcements is where I'm going to put an announcement out. So that's my way of communicating to you. You will find an announcement from me on a daily basis, definitely, to tell you what is your homework question, and all other important information will be communicated to you. Once I've placed an announcement on IFundi, obviously you can retrieve the announcement from IFundi, but it will also generate an email message for you, so you can retrieve the email from your mobile phone as well. You don't have access to resources. Assignments we're not going to use. I usually use the assignment for the group project, which we're not going to do because we are in an online environment. Tests and quizzes. Now under tests and quizzes, there you're going to find your test that you have to write. So your IFundi test is short 10-mark questions on a study unit that is going to form 15% of your participation mark, and then your big class test will also appear under tests and quizzes with where you're going to download the test from this particular place on the IFundi site. and you're going to upload your answer as well from this particular place. Site Info Gradebook is the next one that you're going to use. Under Gradebook, there you're going to find your marks after it has been released, after you've written a test. So that basically is then IFundi, and then you can log out. I said that we're not going to use the assignment tab, which is on the IFundi side. There I would have posted your group project. Now in the past we had 10 people in a team and you had to complete a group project. The reason why we're not going to do that is because you guys don't even know each other. It's very difficult for you guys as it is. There's no time as a result of the reduced class time for the first years this year because you've started so late. So this year we won't do a group project. Good. How am I going to approach my accounting course? The first thing is to prepare. The second thing is to watch videos. The videos is like attending a class, guys. And if you don't watch the videos, I share a lot of important information in that video. I will tell you what you should focus on. I will tell you why we're doing this. I will tell you what is the nitty-gritty of a question. I will tell you what is important for tests and exams when I'm going to explain a question or go through PowerPoint slides, whatever. But that will all be communicated in the video. So if you did not watch the video, obviously you're going to miss out on a lot of important information. Attend all the Zoom lectures. Again, I will share a lot of important information in the Zoom lectures. I will attend a lot of information or important stuff applicable on the study unit that we're busy with. So I will tell you what you should focus on. I will tell you what is the problem. I will tell you what is going to be, what is the rationale behind these things. So it's very important that you attend that Zoom lectures. You have to work out all the questions on the program, all of them. Don't cherry pick. You will not pass this course if you're going to cherry pick. You are going to slide on your bum and you're going to sit with a red face and you will not be successful. So guys, you have to work out all the questions in the program. There's a reason for that. Why? Because when I am actually going to compile a new test or exam question, you're going to get a question that you've never seen ever before in your life. It's not school. It's not the same question where I've just multiplied the figures or half the figures and put another name to a question. It doesn't work like that. You are big now. It's varsity. I want to see whether you can think. So therefore, you're going to see a question that you've never ever seen in your life before in a test or exam. And what I do when I compile that question, I take a little bit out of this question, a little bit out of that question, a little bit out of another question, and I combine it into a new question. And if you did not work out all the individual questions, you will not be able to answer that question that I have compiled. So obviously, you have to work through all of them. If there's something you don't understand, ask. If you don't want to ask me for whatever simple, stupid reason, then you have a facilitator. We have a facilitator for the English class specifically. I will give you all the information, and she's also going to have some Zoom meetings with you guys. Attend those meetings and ask her if you don't want to ask me. But there is no such thing as a stupid question. There's only stupid people who don't ask questions. Please. Then simultaneously, I want to tell you, if you come to me and you tell me, and says, Mrs. Swart, I don't understand debtors. I'm going to look at you and I'm going to send you away. Why? Guys, that is the study unit's name. If you come to me and say, Mrs. Swart, when I've done debtors, there is something about, let's say, the allowance for credit losses that I don't understand. Please explain that to me again, and I will do that with the greatest of pleasure. So you've tried to solve your problem. I know exactly that you've worked through the stuff. You are actually stuck on something because you don't know how to go further, and I will help you over the hurdle. But you have to be very careful and make sure. Don't come to me with a general question. I don't understand debtors. What about debtors don't you understand? Where did you get stuck? and then I will, with the greatest of pleasure, help you. Attend the facilitation sessions, and then the secret behind the success of this semester is that you cannot fall behind. Never fall behind, because there's no time to catch up. Preparation is very important. After each and every study unit, you're going to write an IFundi test. It's going to be a multi-choice type of test. It's going to count 10 marks, and eventually it's going to make up 15% of your semester participation mark. And once we have done that, and in that IFundi test, you will gain some knowledge, which will be assumed knowledge for you to go further and do a test or exam. Let's quickly look at the participation mark. What is a participation mark? A participation mark determines whether you will be able to write exam. Now, in the first semester, and it's only in the first semester, you only need a 35% participation mark to be allowed to write the exam. But it's going to bite you, and I will talk about the bite now. Your participation mark is going to be made up by your 3 class tests that you're going to write. It's 50 marks test. It is 85% counting towards your participation mark on an equal basis. Then your IFundi knowledge test is 15%. So in total, the participation mark, this will then make up 100% of your participation mark. Your final module mark, so that is the final mark that's going to determine whether you can continue with the next course, is made up by the exam of 50%. So you're going to write exam, it's going to be 100 marks in the exam. You're going to get, let's say, argument's sake, 60% for the exam, plus your participation mark, which is this mark here. And let's say your participation mark was 40%. Then I'm going to work out your final mark, 60% exam mark, plus 40% participation mark. That gives me 100. Divided by 2 is going to give me 50%, so your final mark is going to be 50%. So your exam is counting 50% towards your final mark, and your participation mark is going to count 50% towards your final mark. Now, I've said that you only need 35% in order to gain access to write the exam. But that means if I want to have a final mark of 50% of the end of the day, you must then get for your exam paper 65%. So 65 plus 35 gives me 100. Divided by 2 gives me 50%, and then you can continue with ACCC 1-to-1. You only need 50% to continue. If I only have a 35% participation mark, what is the chances for me to get 65% in the exam? Virtually zero. So please, guys, do yourself a favor. Please try to get your participation mark as high as possible, because then you are not half as much nervous when you're writing the exam that you're not going to make it. You are much more at ease, and you do much better marks-wise when you're writing exam. Let's say my participation mark was 80%. Well, that doesn't mean I only have to get 20% in the exam in order to go on with the ICCC 1-to-1, because there's a cutoff point. You have to have 40% for your exam mark in order to continue to the next course. So if I had 80% participation mark, I still had to get 40% in the exam if I want to pass and continue to ICCC 1-to-1. So there's a minimum of 40% that you have to get in the exam in order to pass the module. Now, how does the marks work? You get 1.5 minutes per mark writing time. You get 0.3 minutes per mark reading time. And you get 20 minutes to scan your paper, upload your paper, and email your paper. So let's say we are writing all your class tests of 50 marks. So for 50 times 1.8, 1.5 plus 0.3 is 1.8 minutes per mark, you will have 90 minutes available to complete the test. Then you will get another 20 minutes where you have to scan, upload, and email your test. So in total for a 50 mark paper, you will get 110 minutes in order to do everything that you should do. Guys, when you prepare for exams, prepare that answer against time. Remember, accounting is 50% is the complexity level of the exam or the test question. And the other 50% is, can I achieve that complexity level within the set time framework that I have in order to solve my problem. Problem solve. So, sorry guys, I had to take an important call. Okay, so just in conclusion then, you have to practice against time, otherwise you're not going to be finished in time. Now, IFundi closes after the time limit has expired. If you don't submit your email within the time limit, you will be penalized 5 marks for every minute that your email is going to be submitted late. Now, I promise you, we have very good tests that you're going to write. And if you're going to lose 5 marks for every minute that you're going to be late, you are going to end up with a minus mark for your paper. So you have to be able to work against time. It is extremely important. What do I expect from you? I expect from you to attend all your Zoom classes, to do all your homework, to ask questions if you don't know what's happening, to ask participation or to class participation in a Zoom meeting. It's very, this Zoom stuff is not nice as it is because I still talk to a computer screen. So guys, please, I would like you to participate in those meetings. It makes it so much more interactive and all of us can learn out of it. I can learn whether you really understand something, and I can learn if there's something that you don't really understand, and if there's something that you don't understand, I can try to give you another video or another lesson or another Zoom session where I try to explain it again to you until you understand what I'm talking about. It is also that I expect from you to empower yourself. Now, you can only empower yourself if you have the knowledge to do so. So I undertake to give you the means of gaining that knowledge, and I expect from you to grab that and to then empower yourself. I expect you to perform, that you persevere, and at the end of the day that you will succeed in your studies. What do you expect? And then you have to answer these questions yourself. What do you expect from me? Now, I would suppose that you expect from me that I provide you with the necessary study material so that you have everything that you need in order to be successful. I expect that you expect from me to help you whenever you get stuck and you cannot go further. And whatever you expect from me, if I do not fulfill your expectations, please communicate to me and I can see whether I fall short or not. Important though, what do you expect of yourself? Answer yourself. What do you expect of the subject? What do you expect for your future? Guys, you have two choices. The one is this one here. I mean, you can just see yourself lying on that couch, playing one or other game, either on your laptop or on your cell phone, and it looks like a pigsty around you with empty boxes, empty tins, empty cold drinks, empty chips, papers. You know yourself. You know what you're doing. I've also got student kids. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And you have that earphones on your ears, and all you can hear is your mates that you're playing this game with, or your music that you're listening to, whatever you're going to do. And watch this ropes that you're going to tie around you. I don't say don't do that again. But there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time for relax, but for sure, there's a time for relax only after you've done your work. So this is a no-go. I do not give preference to my hobbies, to the stuff that I enjoy. All of us would like to lie on the couch and watch movies or TV or play games, whatever. This is not what life is all about. Guys, you will lie here and that couch will disintegrate underneath you eventually. That screen is going to die eventually. That earphones is not going to work eventually after a period of time. And then the question is, do I have money to replace the couch, the laptop, the earphones? If I haven't done this, I will not have the money to replace that. And my parents, for sure, is not always going to support me and give me the money to do that. We are going to kick you out some other time so that you stand on your own 2 feet and start making a living for yourself. So hard work will pay off, but that means I have to do some time management. I have to do my work first before I can go to my leisure activities. Homework. Now, the homework that you have for tomorrow is to familiarize yourself with the IFundi site, study and look at the work program, which is going to appear under Model Admin on the IFundi site, and make sure that you know what is expected from you this semester. And then I'll speak to you again early tomorrow morning.